The anxiety of having your sense of self disproven. It's an oxymoron, technically, and yet how many of us struggle with this dread on a regular basis? I Saw the TV Glow makes a clear case for how this fear is not wholly internal or external. Rather, it's a personal problem that the world we live in is wholly unequipped to help us with. A lot has been made of the explicitly LGBT, emphasis on the T, allegory at the screen-shaped heart of the narrative. But director Jane Schoenbrun, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, makes it clear that there is no part of yourself too small in detail that deserves to feel marginalized, repressed, or deserving of ridicule and derision. Society at large isn't simply reasonable and tolerant until you reach something as monumental and unpalatable to them as coming out. The oppression of normalcy begins at such a young age and works to dictate what is good and what is bad about all things to you. The things you do, the people you know, what you like, what is meaningful and what is foolish. Thinking otherwise risks you being treated with the same venom as if you were actively denying proven facts, because an established consensus of the currently prevalent voices in society is practically fact written in stone. Justice Smith's Owen is so stricken by the established consensus that the show they connect with so deeply is just for girls and just for kids at different times in their life that they can't even allow themselves to consider that the title of the show alone, The Pink Opaque, is brimming with subtext, or that declarations like "just for" is so hollow as a point of dismissal. When everyone around you makes you feel utterly petrified to be honest about all the ways a television show makes you feel, that you are made to think that you are wrong for seeing anything in it, that any considerations about what it says to you are delusions of your own making, is it any wonder that so many people withhold and suppress so much about themselves, regardless of how big or small a thing it feels, to the extent that they may never feel complete, fulfilled, even alive? As Brigette Lundy-Paine's character Mandy reveals to Owen the truth they've been avoiding for their whole apparent lives and the damage it's doing them, I sat waiting, aware of how far along the film was, for Owen to take the next step, to reach in and connect with what they've been ignoring thus far. Time passing in I Saw the TV Glow becomes an increasingly terrifying aspect of the story. Owen doesn't necessarily stand still. They get a house, get married, have kids. I have no reason not to believe them when they say that they love them. But they are stagnant, the absence of any sense of desire or ambition becoming increasingly prevalent. The way Mandy explains the process that they need to undergo to become their true selves again is, I think, intentionally presented as a foolish and dangerous thing to do. At first I questioned the decision. Surely this would simply serve as ammunition for any transphobe, for example, rebutting the themes of the film to compare transitioning to self-harm or suicide. But of course that's on me for thinking of those people first. I had ignored that Mandy had made it out the other side unharmed despite all the reports that she had died. The world is trying to present the act of transitioning as life or death, insisting to Owen that to do this is to give up everything else. As to the suffering that not going through with it is visibly causing Owen, well, fittingly, the world has no answer to that. It simply falls silent, and waits for Owen to apologize.